It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Wow, nothing like starting off a Monday morning with a little technical glitch. Sorry about that. That one was totally beyond my control. However, we recovered there fairly quickly. Anyway, welcome to Monday Travel and Cruise Industry News. Let me double check and make sure that I am on here. Why is this off? Okay, now let me go back over here and check. I may need some assistance here, folks, to make sure you can see and hear me. Good morning to everybody in the chat room. Can you guys see me and hear me? Somebody drop in a yay or a nay on that one. Audio and video are fine. Whew. Okay. Thanks, guys. Man, I looked up and my camera was showing that it was off, and I'm thinking, wow, how did that happen? All right. Back to the beginning. Welcome to Monday Travel and Cruise Industry News. On this, the 5th day of June. We've got a busy morning this morning, folks. The lead story today is one that actually broke Friday afternoon, considerably after the show. As a matter of fact, I did a quick video, short video on it Friday, which went nuts. But Carnival names Jay Leno Godfather. We got to talk about that this morning. There's been another Norovirus outbreak on a cruise ship on the Celebrity Summit. Margaritaville at sea is back. An 87-year-old had his dreams fulfilled by Holland America. A ferry adrift for hours with passengers on board. Seafjord Energy pioneers a new type of ship that's pretty interesting. And a big month for Puerto, Plata. That and a ton more stuff here this morning. Today, folks, is National Veggie Burger Day. Not my favorite, but I'm getting better at eating veggie and vegan meals. I'm not doing it on a total basis, but I'm not sticking my nose up like I have in the past. So I'm getting better. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big hitters, just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. Any of the big guys. So, and there's always, if you're watching via the podcast, there's always a link in the description of the podcast if you ever want to access the video feed to check out any of the pictures that we are using on today's show. And I do have a bunch of stuff to go over today, folks. So I'm going to get into that as quickly as possible. Most of you know that our buddy Cindy and Nick are on the MSC Seaside. I'm sure that was a very early alcoholic beverage, adult beverage. I'm not supposed to call them alcoholic beverages. Oops. That Cindy has there. That's the Seaside, and that's a great picture of the Seaside from the parking lot. I like that a lot. They got upgraded to a yacht club suite. How about this? The butler meets them and takes the luggage on. La-di-da. That's Cindy looking over Port Miami. That's Nick having a Virgin Coco Loco or something like that. Anyway, this is just a shot of the bed in the suite. I'm figuring that sometime Cindy's going to do a whole clip of the suite there in the yacht club. This is the yacht club pool. And I believe this one is the Miami Beach pool. And this is the South Beach pool. There's all kinds of pools on this ship. Let's see what else we have here. And that's Nick has his own billiards table to sleep on or play on or whatever he wants to do there. Again, in the yacht club. That's the nightclub, the Haven nightclub. I don't know what it probably has its own name. But in the evening, I mean, you can have entertainment in the evening and drinks or whatever and be just there with the Haven folks, all the sweet folks. That's the entrance to the casino. Cindy does play on occasions. That's looking down at the Atrium Bar. The Atrium Bar is always one of the mainstays on any MSC ship. It's just, it looks to me like this is another stunning example that MSC has floated out there. I have a feeling that's another adult beverage that Cindy may have sampled. Everybody downed them on down to MSC about their food. Nick had lasagna. She had risotto with clams and something else. Anyway, it looks fine to me. I've been on 5 MSC cruises, and I like the food on all of them. Yeah, it may be a little different than we're used to, but I enjoyed it. And that's Nick with tiramisu. I do like the way they do tiramisu. I mean, you get a heck of a portion of tiramisu as well. Of course, that's the two of them together there in the theater. They went to a show. And it's, oh, heck, I didn't jot down the name of it. It's, I don't remember the name of the show. But anyway, they enjoyed the show. And then Cindy went to the casino. It looks to me like she won a little bit there, folks. So I will have to get a report on that one. And then it was bedtime. So she says, nighty-night. Elizabeth on location, she was making the limoncello. That's the final product. That was when she finishes with it and bottles it. Her limoncello. Let's see what else we have here. We have a new friend that I met on the Joy, which is Armando. Armando and Steve are in Rome this week and getting up there into the Vatican. Maybe they tried to get the Pope to have some wine with them too as well. Anyway, they're in Rome. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so I have to go over here to read a message first on this one. Hot Air Tom, he flew over there to England and he's sailing with Hillary, not with Cindy. Cindy stayed at home on this one. I was not able to go. They asked me if I would go, and Hillary took my place. So she is sailing with a Hot Air Tom. And of course, he has a suite as well. He said as they entered the terminal, there was no x-ray. A lady asked if we had a suite reservation. So they said yes. So she checked her off their cabin list and escorted them through an unmarked door to an elevator to the second floor, where 2 people checked them in as suite guests. They started boarding at 10:45, and currently the first pictures, I believe, or maybe it's the second pictures, they're in Maderno having a little lunch and waiting for the room to be ready at noon. He said it was the easiest embarkation he's ever been through. So I've got to take Armando's picture off. Now let's go back and find Hot Air Tom. Let's see. That's Cindy. Let's see. Oh no. There it is. Okay. That's Hot Air Tom sitting in Maderno waiting to get in. And he had French dip for lunch in Maderno. And this was his bed in the suite. He took the extra bed and gave Hillary the main suite and the main bed. So that's from Hot Air Tom. And they are on, what are they on? They're on Norwegian, I can't remember. Anyway, they sailed from Southampton. They arrived today in Cove. And it's interesting that Cove is spelled C-O-B-H. But anyway, they arrived at 10:30 a.m. their time. A visit to the Blarney Castle today. Cove is beautiful. Going to get the memory card pictures downloaded to the PC. So he's already got a bunch of pictures going. And then our friend, or my friend, Rochelle, she flew out. I thought she was coming home. I even said Friday, because it was her last day in Egypt. I said, she's on her way home. Maybe I'll get a chance to interview her. No. She flew to Ravenna and got on another ship already. This is in Bologna. There, which she said was just a fascinating port. They flew out of Cairo. That would be on Friday. Missed a huge sandstorm there and flew to Bologna, Italy to get on Explorer of the Seas from Ravenna. Yesterday, she's going to Croatia and Greece. She was lucky enough to get there early. Of course, there's a huge airline strike in Italy yesterday, a one-day strike. Thousands of flights were canceled. People were scrambling to get to the cruise ports. I got no reports this morning of what actually, how much many people actually missed their ships. But was a mess with canceled flights. Many people can't get to the ship, but they're flying the same day. Air to Sea, which that's Royal's flying group, is trying to have passengers who missed the ship to get them to Athens for the next stop, but who knows? So anyway, let's see what else she sent in the way of pictures. That, of course, would be a trolley. I can't see if it has a place. That does not look like it has a place for wheelchairs like the trolley had, and wherever that. Well, I was on the trolley in Curacao, one of the streets in Bologna. She said the food in Bologna was just amazing. Restaurants and cafes abound. and that's a ham store. I'm sure there's other cold cuts involved, but those are all hams hanging on the left portion of that picture. I'm not sure if those are also hams on the right portion or not. Possibly those are just a bunch more hams hanging. That looks like a cheese and a cold cuts. Might be the same store. And the center of Bologna. And then, of course, Rochelle is going to find a Catholic church. So she made it to the Basilica of San Petronio. San Petronio. Yeah, I may have that one wrong, Dennis. And, of course, like all cathedrals in Europe, they're just stunning. They're all unbelievable. So that's Rochelle in Bologna. She sailed yesterday on Explorer. So we're going to have a whole nother adventure from Rochelle to follow. So, all right, the top story today, folks, is a follow-up story from Friday afternoon. It broke Friday afternoon. And that has to do with Carnival and Jay Leno. Carnival Cruise Line announced the talk show host and comedian Jay Leno will serve as the godfather to the Carnival Venezia at the celebratory event on June the 14th. In addition to serving as the ship's godfather, Leno will perform a special comedy show for Carnival's event guests in partnership with Carnival World MasterCard. Carnival Venezia will be the first ever Carnival cruise ship to have a godfather rather than a godmother. Carnival Cruise Line has announced as the ship is less than 2 weeks from the formal christening. And Christine Dovey, president of Carnival Cruise Line, said Carnival Venezia originally entered service for our Italian sister brand Costa Cruises and was christened in 2019. So she already has a godmother. Costa Venezia's godmother is Gan Bayi, I guess that's Bayi, the matriarch of a Chinese family who are fans of Costa Cruises and had been sailing with the line for several years before Costa Venezia debuted. As the ship was designed for the Chinese cruise market and debuted in Shanghai, the relationship was a natural one. Now, as Costa Venezia prepares to debut in the Big Apple and bring Carnival fun Italian style to cruise fans, it's only appropriate that the new ceremonial godparent be a New York native with Italian heritage. Celebrated late-night talk show host, comedian, and noted collector of vintage cars and motorbikes, Jay Leno is the ideal choice to welcome Carnival Venezia. He is a native of New Rochelle, New York, and the grandson of immigrants from Flumeri, Campania, Italy. All right. All right, we got a Father's Day sale coming up from Will Power Chairs and Scoot Around. Your dad deserves the best. Give him the gift of mobility. Now through June 18th, you can save 10% on mobility scooters or power wheelchairs site-wide. Use code DAD2023. That's DAD 2023 and get 10% off on everything site-wide. You can just shop online or call 844-664-7467. Use promo code DAD2033 at checkout. If you call via the phone, use SRN 11137 and I'll get a little credit. That would be nice. So that supports the channel. All right. The CDC announced a norovirus outbreak on Celebrity Summit ship from May 15th to May 25th, a total of 177 people. That's 152 passengers, or 7% of all, plus 25 crew, 2.6% of all, experienced symptoms such as diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal pains, and headaches. This marks the 5th cruise ship outbreak caused by norovirus that has been reported and officially confirmed by the CDC. In May 2023, the largest number of infected that the CDC reported was from the New Amsterdam, which had 213 people, 10% of all, plus 35 crew, which was 4.2%. The Holland American outbreak occurred during a 14-day Alaska voyage from Vancouver. In response to the outbreak, Celebrity Summit's crew members have taken the following measures: increased cleaning and disinfection procedures in line with the ship's outbreak prevention and response plan, informed current passengers about the situation, encouraged them to report any illnesses and practice good hand hygiene, collected samples from the affected and sent them to the CDC lab, provided twice daily reports of gastrointestinal illnesses to the vessel sanitation program during the investigation of the outbreak, consulted with the vessel sanitation program regarding sanitation cleaning procedures and the reporting of illness cases, notified incoming passengers about the situation on board, and encouraged them to report any illnesses and practice good hand hygiene. Celebrity Summit's on a 10-day round trip to Bermuda from New York, visiting Martha's Vineyard, Kings Wharf in Bermuda, and Charleston in South Carolina. All right. I'll be back with several more stories after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. All right, it's good to see our friends down at Margaritaville at Sea back at work. Margaritaville at Sea departed from the port of Palm Beach this weekend on a sold-out 3-day, 2-night cruise to the Bahamas. We experienced a great turnout for our inaugural sailing out of dry dock, but a sold-out ship is incredible, stated Kevin Sheehan Jr., CEO of Margaritaville at Sea. It shows the strength of the Margaritaville brand and our loyal customer base, who are excited about our new experiences and the laid-back vibes of Margaritaville at Sea. Along with enhancements to refresh and renew some of the cruise ship's favorite features, amenities, and staterooms, many new features are now a part of the new reimagined Margaritaville at Sea experience. All new entertainment and dining options that have been added to the cruise ship are Paradise Pickleball at Sea. The ship's forward deck has been reimagined to include a regulation pickleball court and an outside lounge so guests can enjoy the fast-growing sport. Keys on the Water dueling piano bar. This new high-energy venue features 2 wickedly talented piano players, lively nightly entertainment, and unique craft cocktails. Stars on the Water production show. The curtain rises on 2 new theater shows, providing 2 nights of unique and immersive onboard entertainment. Caribbean Heat is a sizzling serving of energetic music, dance, and acrobatics with 7 different colorful costume changes and a musical trip around the islands of the Caribbean. And this one I'm interested in, Cheeseburger in Paradise Burger Bar. With this new no-charge addition at 5 o'clock somewhere bar and grill, guests can build their own fresh all-beef burger creations with tasty toppings while enjoying ocean views and signature cocktails. In addition to the new onboard experience, the cruise line has expanded its onshore excursions in Grand Bahamas, adding an ultimate party boat and snorkeling experience and a Grand Bahamas cycling adventure to the current lineup of swimming with the pigs, dolphin encounters, and an all-inclusive resort day passes. Margaritaville at Sea has also partnered with Pelican Bay Resort, offering guests a third cruise and stay option to extend their travels by combining the cruise with a stay on Grand Bahama Island. Sound familiar? I started talking about that as soon as I went on that ship. I love the ship. I love the vibe. It was just horrible for accessibility. So it'll be interesting to see if they made any improvements for accessibility. But I could just see a future of this, especially with Margaritaville having resorts all over the Caribbean, that this could be a, sail and drop kind of deal where you sail to a certain place and get off and stay, just like this place over there at Grand Bahama Island. So I can see a future for that one. All right, this 87-year-old gentleman, and I really thought this was a cool story. After receiving a heartwarming surprise from Holland America, 87-year-old Leonard Wood has proved that you can never be too old for your dreams to come true. On May 31st, the day before Leonard's birthday, Holland America surprised him with a private tour of the Zaandam, one of the company's ships that recently docked in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. It was a well-timed occasion for the Prince Edward Island resident who had spent the last 15 years having his picture taken in front of the cruise ships that docked at Port Charlottetown. Despite his fascination with cruise ships, Leonard had never set foot inside one. But Holland American changed all that by organizing a surprise tour for him and his family. Joined by his daughter and several of his grandchildren, Leonard was treated to a personal tour that included a visit to various venues, such as the Ballroom Casino and a navigational bridge where he met the ship's captain. Visibly moved, Leonard remarked on the experience, saying, "Ever since I was little, I loved seeing pictures of ships and was always excited to see them at the port. Getting to know firsthand what it's like on board a ship that size, well, it's more than exciting." He also had a really nice lunch at the Pinnacle Grill. So, Zaandam Captain Anne Smith, I was with them a month ago. Likewise, glad to have the chance to fulfill a local resident's dream. I've been coming to Prince Edward Island for 20 years, and the people are always so friendly. It's one of my favorite ports. I'm glad we could do something to give back to the wonderful people in the community. So congratulations to Holland America and to Leonard. Great deal for all. This was kind of a strange story. A ferry boat drifts for hours with 389 passengers on board due to engine failure. On Saturday, the Tama Star experienced engine trouble near Matsu Island in the East China Sea, causing it to drift for several hours with 389 passengers on board. The vessel departed from Keelung at 10 p.m. Friday night, but at 4 a.m. on Saturday, its engines failed, leaving it unable to complete the crossing to Nangan Island. The incident occurred 30 nautical miles away from Nangan. Out of 389 passengers, 209 were traveling to Nangan Township, while 180 were headed to Dongyin Island. In response, the local government emergency meeting was convened to arrange for ships to tow the stranded ferry to a harbor with 3 vessels from the Coast Guard administration accompanying them. The rescue team reached Tian Star at 10 a.m., but the process of towing the ship to safety would take at least another 4 hours, according to reports. The passengers were growing pretty hungry and upset with crew for attempting to sell them canned food. Upon arrival at Nangun's Huao Harbor, each passenger received water, food, and US $20 worth as compensation. Additional ships were dispatched to transport passengers who wished to continue their journey to Dongyin and Zhuguang as directed by the authorities. Tian Star eventually reached Matsu safely about 3 p.m., while a repair team was flown in. Officials say that the ferry will not be allowed to resume sailing until a thorough inspection has been carried out and all repairs taken care of. All right. I found this one interesting too. This is a Swedish company, Seafjord Energy, has introduced the world's first e-bunker vessel, a groundbreaking type of vessel that has the potential to make the shipping industry at sea entirely climate neutral. The shipping industry has long recognized the need for sustainability measures, but there are challenges such as the limited availability of electricity grids and ports for large vessels to connect to. To address this issue, Seafjord Energy has developed a solution. Their e-bunker vessel, equipped with large battery pack, offers a novel way to supply green energy to ships. With a vision of a more sustainable shipping industry, Seafjord Energy is making an international impact, driving the industry toward climate neutrality. The e-bunker vessel also presents opportunities for energy trading, as it can be charged at advantageous times or locations and deliver energy to other vessels or onshore locations as needed. Additionally, the vessel can serve as a backup resource during emergency or crisis situations. Seafjord Energy's innovative vessel sets a new standard for energy supply at sea. Rather than relying on fossil fuels or shore connections, it can deliver green electricity to ships and docks worldwide. Interesting concept from Seafjord Industry. And finally this morning, our friends in the Dominican Republic are looking for a very big June. 29 cruise ships are expected to dock in Puerto Plata this month. These ships will arrive through tourist ports of Amber Cove and Tano Bay. Despite being the low season, the arrival of 29 ships positioned Puerto Plata as one of the leading Caribbean provinces in terms of cruise arrivals. Out of the 29 ships, 16 are scheduled to dock at the port of Amber Cove, which is owned by Carnival Corporation. The remaining 13 ships will arrive at the port of Tano Bay, which is owned by the ITM Group Company. Amber Cove is a Carnival Corporation exclusive cruise port located at the west of Puerto Plata. The distance between Amber Cove and Puerto Plata at 7.5 miles. I've said that. I thought it was 5 miles apart, which I have said numerous times before. I was corrected on from this story that it's 7.5 miles apart. Vessels allowed to dock at Amber Cove are operated by the corporation's subsidiaries AIDA, Costa, Cunard, Holland America, Princess P&O, UK, and Carnival. Puerto Plata is a cruise port visited by ships of other than Carnival major cruise companies, including Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Silver Sea, Norwegian, Oceania, Regent Seven Seas, Marella, and Virgin. So, a big month ahead for Dominican Republic. I've also said on numerous occasions, folks, that I prefer Amber Cove to Puerto Plata. So when Norwegian Joy went into was supposed to go to Puerto Plata on my cruise a couple weeks ago, we were changed to go into Amber Cove because of dock damage at Puerto Plata. That didn't bother me at all because I prefer Amber Cove. So it's close enough that they were able to take care of all the excursions. So nobody got screwed out of any of the excursions that they were planning on, I don't think. And I got to do what I always do at Amber Cove, which is go, have a little lunch and a couple of adult beverages, pina coladas, with my friends at the bar restaurant there in Amber Cove. I just love that place. Cana Cove or Cana Cafe. Anyway, I like it. So I like that better. It's a little newer, a little cleaner than Puerto Plata. Puerto Plata is still nice too. Those of you that have followed me for a while, Puerto Plata is where I was trying to go up a ramp onto a pool deck, and the scooter made it just to the top and decided, nope, I can't quite get over this steep a ramp. And it had no brakes, and I started going backwards, and I crashed the back end into a palm tree, which jarred my eye teeth a little bit. However, I popped right back up, and they helped me with the scooter, and I got over to a table and had lunch, and I probably had a pina colada there too. But anyway, I like Amber Cove better. All right, let's go see who's over here in the chat room fussing at me today. Oh, yeah, by the way, folks, Friday night we did have a very nice meeting. Some of you were there on my December 2nd hosted solo cruise on the Norwegian Escape. And everybody that had indicated that they want to go on that cruise, and we've been stuck with Norwegian not allowing anything to be booked by the contract. They've had put it on hold. So they've decided we're going to give it one more week for Norwegian to get their act together. So that was the decision of the entire group. Excuse me. I am perfectly okay with that. I will gladly wait another week and hope that they get it fixed so we can go on and plan for this and get it back open. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. Eddie's here. Yo, Brooklyn in the house. Hi, Eddie. Guten Morgen, y'all. That's very German, Eddie. Nikki's with us. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Chillie, wherever you are. I'm in Virginia, Nikki. I'm going to be in Virginia probably now I've got medical stuff scheduled out well into July now. So it's a good thing I didn't have anything scheduled. Elizabeth is with us. Greetings from hot and sunny Cozumel. She says, good morning to Chillie and the gang. Thank you, Mike, on the audio and video report. I think he said loud and clear, too. Steve's with us. Good morning, Steve. Emily's here. Good morning, Em. I hope my cousin can still buy plane tickets in Italy. She's coming out to New York late July. This was just a one-day strike, Emily. It was only yesterday. And they have laws that affect that, and they're only allowed so many hours. I don't know. There was some stipulations, but the problem was yesterday, the day of the strike, there were 11 cruise ships sailing from various ports in Italy. You know, Italy's got a bunch of cruise ports. So there were 11 ships sailing. That's a lot of people flying in on days of cruises that don't go in a day early like a lot of us do in this country. And people then getting off 11 cruise ships and expecting flights home. So there was no reports on what's happening with any of that. Dennis is with us. Good morning, Dennis. Everybody's speaking back and forth. Taima. Okay. Thank you, Dennis. Where does the Margaritaville leave from in West Palm Beach? No, it's West Palm Beach, Steve, and it goes to, right now it only goes to Grand Bahama Island, Freeport. It's the only port of call currently. That may change. I probably missed the Jay Leno segment. Without a script or cue cards, he's absolutely, yeah, I understand. I'm pretty sure not 100%. Margaritaville at sea. Yeah, that's it's a small, they used to have two ships. They lost one during the pandemic. I've had the CEO on a couple times. I sailed on it after it was purchased by Margaritaville at Sea folks. And the ship it's a nice ship. It's a nice vibe. The food was good. The booze was good. It was just horrible from an accessibility standpoint. Probably the worst ship I've ever been on. But I mean, there's still a lot to like about it. But it was tough for the disabled. So I'm hoping that they get some of that changed. Yeah, it sails from Palm Beach Port. Oh, yeah, that is Palm Beach Port, not West Palm Beach. Seems like they did a remodel of that ship pretty fast. They had it about 3 weeks, I think, Steve. And I'm not sure who did the refit. It was probably done over in the Bahamas, I would think. It's an old ship. Oh yeah, it was originally a Costa ship. It was born, I want to say, I'm going by memory here, folks. I think it was maybe built in 1999, somewhere along in there. So yeah, it's got some age on it. But it was still, I mean, it's been, it's been refurbished through the years. So the age wasn't bad on it. And like I say, the vibe was fabulous. I mean, anytime you've got, you're living Margaritaville, 24 hours a day, for a lot of us, that's, quite enjoyable. So I enjoyed that part of it a lot. And the food was good. So, I mean, other than the accessibility issue, I enjoyed the ship. After some YouTube videos I've seen, I don't think a remodel will help that ship. I really didn't mind it that bad, Steve. I don't mind an old ship asking as food and service make up for it. The biggest problem I had, quite frankly, my stateroom was not handicap accessible. They had no handicap accessible staterooms on the entire ship. So I had this long, narrow stateroom, which had down the left wall were two twin beds, head to head to tail. Down the right wall was the closet's drawer space, a bureau with a mirror, a television. And then the bathroom was actually pretty good size. It did not have scoot around. So I had to take my little scooter that I use at home and use like when I go to doctor's appointments that I know are going to be too long of a walk for me. You couldn't turn around in the room, but I could turn it around in the bathroom. I'm doing about an 8-point turn in the bathroom, using the shower stall. And, it was a little dicey, but then, I could get it turned around and go out front because the door, it had like maybe an inch clearance on each side. So you had to be perfectly lined up to get in and out. And my fat butt, that's tough. So anyway, I didn't mind Margaritaville at sea. If you can catch it on a sale price or a buy one, get one basis, or they do a lot of free stuff for first responders and things, by all means, go for it. Again, I'd like to do it again now to see how the accessibility things are. Maybe go in there with the company's approval to do a full accessibility study for them. That would be an interesting thing to do. So anyway, that's going to wrap me up for today, folks. Sorry about the little glitch up front with going on the air and thinking there for a minute that I was completely off the air. It was just a strange start to the show today, folks. So anyway, it's probably my fault, me and my technical issues. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up today. Let's see. I don't have anything extra today or tomorrow. I will ask everybody to keep Amigo John in their thoughts and prayers this week. If you are a type to do that kind of a thing, he's going to need it for the next few days. I would appreciate that immensely. Oh, I know what else I didn't do. Let me do this before I leave. Hot Air Tom sent a clip in on his room on the Norwegian Dawn, and I forgot to play it.
Okay, here's cabin 12506 on the Norwegian Dawn. So I've already redecorated the little living area to be my office. Love these huge windows. That's the River Test at Southampton. So here we got the fold down double bed. I'm waiting for the steward to free up so you can come open it up and see what it looks like. The couch that you saw a minute ago also folds out. And you see Hillary in the mirror. So when we came in, there was the table that my laptop's on was sitting in that empty area there.
Hi, Hillary.
There we have the master bed. This partition will open up out to this point, and then there's a curtain here that pulls out to really seal off the bed. And we'll go down the hall. That door goes to the hallway, the corridor. And then we got closets on the left and right. So we got slippers down there, an umbrella, a couple robes, and it's another closet, hanging space, cubby, and a couple drawers. And then on the other side, I got mandatory life vests, safe, some hanging spots, some storage for my backpack.
All right, that ends up Hot Air Tom's video clip on his suite on the Norwegian Dawn. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Sorry I forgot that as I was doing the show earlier. So as always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a fantastic day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.